Each side will have a total of 10 minutes to speak. Development plans require a public hearing. However, no action will be taken by the Planning Commission members. Plats, zoning, revised master plans, street renaming require a public hearing, and once the public hearing is completed, the Planning Commission will deliberate and render their decision. Planning Commission members with personal or financial interest in the petition request are required to recuse themselves. The members of the Planning Commission are Kippy Tate, Patrick Moss, Clay McInnes, Cruz Reed, Jerome Moore, Frank Cook, Ann Clements, James Reed, and I'm Buddy Hardwick. Members of and petitioners are requested to please speak directly into the microphone. The minutes are recorded for legal purposes, and this is the only way to accurately pick up the audio. Tonight we have 6 members, and it takes 5 to pass a motion. Because of the members of the board, the number of the members of the board present, if you would like to delay your request, please let us know when your request is announced. Okay, we're going to take the minutes first. Is there any additions, subtractions, or comments on the minutes? If no, motion's in order.
So moved.
Mr. Tate, second. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Mr. Reed, seconds. All those in favor? All right. Tommy, we're going to make one change in our agenda. Okay, we're going to take the 8th item that's on the list and move it to the first, which would be the rezoning over on Woodmere Boulevard. You want to take it from there, Tommy?
Yes, sir.
This is number 8 in our package. Okay, 8's going to be 1.
Request by Richard Hannon. It's a request to rezone one parcel of land on the north side of Woodmere Boulevard, approximately 1,400 feet east of Eastern Boulevard, from R65M to B2.
Okay. Who's going to present it? Richard, you going to do that? Yes. Richard, if you would, give name and address into the microphone so we can...
Mr. Chairman, members of the Commission, my name is Richard Hannon. My home address is 4006 Turning Leaf Loop here in Montgomery.
Okay.
Okay. Gentlemen, I'm here before you today requesting the rezoning of this particular piece of property. It's 250 feet on Woodmere, 160 feet deep. It backs up to an old parking lot of an apartment that's been there for some time. It's across the street from a filling station and a restaurant. We're requesting that it be rezoned to B2.
Okay. With the intent of it being
We really don't know at this time, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sir. Okay, because we had on here that it was talking about a service station, but what you want is rezone it, and then you're going to...
Rezoning, and then we will try and make a decision on what's best for it.
All right, sir. Okay. Any comments, questions from the Planning Commission?
Mr. Chairman, I would like to, since it's not going to be as printed here, whenever a motion is made, it needs to reflect the fact that it won't be a gas station or whatever. It'll be a parcel that's zoned for whatever purpose he's trying to use this for.
Right, but it could come back before us as that at a point.
That is correct, but
okay.
The motion needs to reflect what Mr. Hannon just explained.
Exactly.
Versus nothing.
I got you. All right. Okay. Any other comments? Any questions?
One question, Mr. Hannon. You said it backs up to a vacant parking lot, and I don't see that on there. But maybe there's parking behind that apartment building.
It is, Mr. Moore, and the lot is blocked off where you can't come out Woodmere. The gate has been locked for some time.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
Yes, I have a question for the staff, and I'd like an explanation here based on the comment from a long-range planning standpoint. Tommy, can somebody talk to us about the comments that's made about this being a spot zoning situation and the staff objecting to changing this as this would affect character of the street. I'm just trying to get some sense of that comment and how we understand your thought behind that.
That's not my thought. The long-range planning is Linda Wool, and she's not present.
Is that an applicable comment?
I don't know that it is. We had no discussion about it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Tate. All right. Anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against it? Y'all, please give name and address, if you would, please.
My name is Jimmy Gunn, G-U-N-N, 1395 Woodmere Drive.
I'm Jesse Donaldson. I'm at 6019 Forest Grove Court.
I'm Sam Watley. I'm at 1614 Salisbury Place.
I appreciate you allowing me to address this issue. I've been a resident of Woodmere since for 40 years. Moved in 77, 78. Ted Watts built my home. I'm currently and have been president of the Woodmere Neighborhood Association for a good many years. I'm also represent District 9 on the Clean City Commission, Councilman Jen Wright. I appeared before you today on behalf of the association, and both of these are officers also of the association, to oppose the rezoning of one parcel of land located on the north side of Woodmere Boulevard from currently being multi-family to commercial. As one of the members previously said, it was his understanding that this was going to be a filling station. And that was what I was under the assumption it would be. And of course, I'm still opposed to that, but not knowing what could be there and asking for a rezone, I'm even more concerned about that. We would prefer that this property stay and remain green space. There are apartments on that side of the boulevard. They've been there for years, and we have no objection for the construction of apartments, condos, or what you might call them in today's world, as long as it's done in good taste. You need to remember, and this is sort of addressing what Tommy mentioned about long-range planning. Woodmere Association has been in discussion with Linda Wool and the planning department about Woodmere Boulevard for probably eight years. We had some definite things going, and then as things happen with money and budget constraints, things kind of get pushed to the side. Woodmere Boulevard is the main entrance into the Blount Cultural Park, which is the home of the Alabama Shakespeare Festival and the Montgomery Museum of Fine Arts. I think we have over 300,000 visitors to that area every year. Woodmere also has a 33-acre city park with a 1-acre pond, which we and a lot of Montgomery residents currently use. Current traffic flow and accumulation of litter in this area is already horrendous. As you know, it's a cut through Woodmere Boulevard from Eastern Bypass to Bell Road. We don't need to add to the traffic and the amount of litter by putting a filling station or whatever. This came before the board about 5 or 6 years ago. We're going to put a 5-unit strip center there. We already have a 5-unit, we have a multi-unit strip shopping center festival across the street. And y'all at that time turned it down. A filling station, we have one directly across the street. It's been thriving since the Cohen started it many years back. It's well kept, well maintained. We also have 3 service stations up on Eastern Bypass. They do a good job except for Raceway. That's a different story, and y'all have all heard the horror stories that goes on there. We would like to ask that you please remember that, and also for the last several years there's been a $2 to $3 million construction job behind the museum that's fixing to open up. Woodmere Boulevard is the only main entrance into that park. The other side on Vaughn Road is an entrance, but you have to go over the wooden bridge. No tour buses can maneuver or go over that bridge, and cars don't need to be going over there, going all the way to the other side. We sure don't want to do anything that would eventually possibly close down that entrance to Woodmere, to the Blount Cultural Park from Woodmere. That happened one time, and we had to go all the way around to Vaughn Road to vote and all of that, which was an inconvenience. We got that defeated and brought back in. So we want to keep that a good image. It would be a nightmare pulling in and out of that area because there's a hill when you top coming out of Woodmere that they go at least 55 going over that. There'd be wrecks there, people trying to turn left. So I'm just asking you to take what I've said in consideration today.
Thank you, Jimmy. Anyone? Do you have any other comments? Yes, sir.
Just one more brief comment.
All right, Sam.
There's a line of crepe myrtle trees that runs on the street line there. The gentleman mentioned whether or not there'd been a long-range plan discussion. It would certainly change the character of that street. And that space has always been green space. It used to be a tennis court, but I mean, other than that, there's never been any development there. We'd like to keep it that way if it would please you folks. Thank you very much.
Do y'all have any objection to what has occurred in the parking lot of the old Sam's? Because there's been a lot of activity in there over the last couple of years.
No, we welcome that. We've worked with Earl, and he's been good. He's kind of the manager of the shopping area there. Mr. Trotman also, we've had good dealings there. If you remember 7 or 8 years ago, that was rough over there. But they've both done a wonderful job in bringing things in with Starbucks and everything else. A lot of good things have happened around the area there. Carrabba's closed, we're getting a brand new dialysis center. No telling how much money they're putting in the remodeling of that building. But again, there needs to be a lot of work done on Woodmere Boulevard to enhance the attractiveness of people coming into there. 300,000 people come annually, and most of them come down that road on buses. That's the impression they get of Montgomery. So we need to keep that in mind. Yes.
Is the current lot well maintained as it is, and who maintains that, the lot, this vacant lot?
No, sir. I wouldn't say it's maintained. It's not kept cut on a regular basis. There's trash and litter. Of course, we have adopted that road and Carmichael Road through the neighborhood to pick up trash, which we do once a quarter for sure. But no, the grass has to be reported to the city.
Have y'all had any communication with Mr. Hannah as far as this lot?
No, sir.
They've been, okay. Okay. All right. Any other comments?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I can't get past this spot zoning comment that's been placed in my packet. And the person that has made the comment is not here to defend the statement. And I want to understand a little bit about why it's there and what's driving such a strong objection that's apparently stated in my packet. And I'd like to have some explanation. I mean, I feel my hands are tied because I don't understand the other side of the argument when it comes to a staff comment, and I can't ignore a statement like this. So that's just my interpretation of what I'm seeing, and there's nobody else here to explain it. So unless I'm wrong, is somebody else here able to talk about the staff's comment or explain what Linda's intent was when she made the comment or something? But I can't get past it and just ignore that this is not something that we need to understand. At least that's my understanding of, I mean, that's my position of my lack of understanding.
Okay. Well, I don't, Tommy, I think you addressed it as best you could, and that was that, in essence, that you don't have an answer to that.
That's correct.
And I hear where you're coming from.
Well, you know, and then that brings up another point then. I mean, I think it's a disservice, and I'm only speaking for me, to have these kinds of comments made and we as the Planning Commission get no explanation for a comment that I'm relying on based on your everyday day-to-day activities of understanding the city's planning and the direction it's going. So to be left without an explanation, to me, is pretty disappointing. And I don't really appreciate the fact that I'm being asked to make a decision about something and I can't get an understanding of a comment that was made.
Fair up. Very, very good observation. Very good.
I have a question. Since you all haven't talked to him, and you know, maybe you want to put it off another month and have some kind of discussion, or if you think that there's not going to be a common ground.
Well, we'll get Mr. Hannah back in just a minute and let him, because he's the one that has to make that decision. Any other?
Could I ask a question?
Just 1 second.
We have been speaking of this spot zoning a lot. Last month we had an issue where the resident wanted to put a daycare in the neighborhood, and we spoke of the spot zoning, in which the city is really, even here they're saying like they really want to get away from spot zoning somewhat. Why are we going back and forth with spot zoning? We gonna spot zone or we not? You know? Let's be fair to everybody. This young lady was up here last month. We turned her down because we was against spot zoning, but here we are looking at another spot zoning issue.
Okay. Jimmy, do you have a comment?
Yes, sir. To kind of follow up what Mr. Tate brought up, I noticed when I received the information from Tanya as far as the maps and whatever, there is a sign-off block thing, and it used to be the neighborhood association was part of that, and you would check that off, and normally I always thought that the developer or whoever would contact the neighborhood association or associations in there that would be affected and to discuss it beforehand, but that wasn't on there.
But
and that might be something that should be on there. I think the neighborhoods that are impacted by the commercial construction needs to be involved.
That is certainly is normally our recommendation that is made. Do they have to? No. Should they? Right. Yeah. Okay. And I think that's and we're going to ask that question in just a minute.
Okay.
But I'm sorry.
Yeah, just one comment, Patrick, to address what you're saying. I think spot zoning can be good if it's good for everybody. And if it's not good for everybody, it's not good, if that makes sense. If everybody wants to, because sometimes zoning is really a long-range plan and it doesn't fit, and if it's good for everybody, then everybody supports it. And that's where it works, and it doesn't work when there's opposition.
And I agree with that. If the neighborhood wants it, then I agree with it. But if the neighborhood don't want it, then that's what I'm relying on. If they don't want it.
Okay, very good. Ms. Hannah, you have any other comments you wanna make, or did you kind of listened to what was said? Do you wanna?
I don't know where Linda Wool got that. She and I have had no conversation whatsoever.
All right.
So I have no idea where Linda came up with that.
Yeah, I think that was probably Linda's thoughts.
Yeah.
I think the question right now is.
I doubt seriously it will be a gas station, but all seasons lawn care does go by there and cut that property.
I think the question is right now, listening to all the conversation and all, and not having had a conversation at all with the homeowners associations. Do you want to have that opportunity and take that extra time to do it, or do you want this board to vote tonight on what on the rezoning?
Mr. Chairman, I'd be glad to meet with them. I've had no conversation with them either. Not been contacted by any of them.
Well, I think what their position was is they were expecting you to contact them. Yeah. And
I've been out of pocket for a while.
Oh, I know.
With medical, so
I do know. I do know. I'm just saying that's from their position. They're saying, hey. My question though to you is, do you want to put it off a month to have that opportunity?
It suits me fine, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sir. All right. Jimmy, would y'all make sure you get with Mr. Hannah? Mr. Hannah has had some medical problems, and at least y'all talk through it. And one of the things y'all may talk about, if Mr. Hannah is interested, there is ways to say that it's not going to be a service station. But I mean, a retail space is over there. That may be something that y'all can discuss, and hopefully come about with some understanding. Because
I do not plan to put a filling station there, Mr. Chairman.
But I think what the concern is Richard, is that if we rezoned it to tonight to B3, what you've got is, until you've got a buyer, you don't know what's going there. Correct. And I think that's what their concern is. And you can queue these things to where you in fact, you're going to see one on here tonight that's got, I don't know where they got all the queues, but it's all kind of things that can't go on there on another piece of property. So I just think if y'all are willing to spend that time and that extra time, I think it's always better if folks know what's going on than to, and we can certainly take it back up next month if that's what you'd like to do.
That's fine, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Jimmy, that is his choice.
Yeah, we'll get with him.
Sir?
We'll get with him.
All right, sir. All right. Is that, okay. Mr. Gunn, is that, okay?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to step in here too while they leave. If this statement is going to stay on, this long-range statement that Linda's put on here, if this is going to remain on the write-up as presented here next month, then I would like to have her here so that she can explain to us why this is on there, and if it's not going to be there, that's fine. But to have a statement like this and nobody's here to explain it, as I said before, it's going to be disappointing. But if this is going to remain on there for next month, have somebody here to talk to us about it, please.
Certainly.
All right. So if we're going to keep it, Linda will be here. That's what we're saying.
Yes, or she'll send an explanation if she can't attend, but we'll have an answer to your question.
Well, that's not what he's asking for.
Well, I don't know why she couldn't attend.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, I don't want to make this laborious or not, but if somebody's going to make a statement, and it seems like this is an individual, it's not a department,
That's correct.
So this is an individual, so if the department is able to talk about it, fine. She didn't have to be here. But this meeting is planned for the same time every month, so I would expect her to make her schedule fit this meeting, because this is not gonna go away if it remains like it is. And so if she wants to withdraw it, that's her prerogative. If it wants to stay, that's her prerogative. But this is gonna come up again if this statement is on here again next month. So maybe she can school you and you can defend it, I don't know. But somebody's gotta talk to us about it.
I understand.
Thank you.
Okay, thank y'all. Okay, we'll go to item number 1 that's on the agenda.
Item number 1 is presented by Goodwin Mills and Kaywood on behalf of T-Square LLC. It's a request for final approval of Larkspur at Taylor Lakes Plat Number 2 on the south end of Chesapeake Pass and proposed Sedona Drive in a PUD district.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Brasington with Goodwin Mills and Kaywood, representing T-Square LLC. Here requesting final approval of Larkspur at Taylor Lakes, Plat Number 2, located at the south end of Chesapeake Pass. Chesapeake Pass will be extended approximately 1,000 feet to the south, with Sedona Drive running east to west off the south end of Chesapeake Pass. This plat creates 29 lots for residential use with 80-foot lot widths, 30-foot front yards, 25-foot rear yards, and 5 and 7-foot side yards.
Elizabeth, let me make this comment before we get into much of it. Our approval of this was, or the way the motion was made last month, was that since they are doing exactly what the PUD says they can do if they have 80-foot lots, that if they submitted the 80-foot lots to the planning commission, to the planning department, that of course they'd be approved. So I think what we've got, Tommy, is this is just, they have submitted an 80-foot, that's what you've got. So they were approved to do it, subject to them doing that. I think what we're doing is just cleaning up to make sure there's not any misunderstanding, because we didn't have the 80-foot plat and wouldn't have had it until 3 or 4 days after the last meeting. So it's not like we haven't already discussed this, had the meeting, and have approved it. So I'll say that before any other comments are made. Anybody else have a?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, and I promise maybe after this one I'm gonna shut up maybe. But I do want to recognize the fact that there are representatives from that neighborhood that are here. And if they have any unclarity about what you've just explained, I want them to be able to leave here with a good understanding of what just happened. So I know they got the good doctor who I spoke to earlier. And if you want to make sure that this is clear, I want you to take this time to get that clarity and communicate it back to your neighborhood associates.
Yes, we're going to vote on this, but I just wanted to make sure it was clear that it's approved.
I understand that, but there was just wanted to make sure she's clear. You're going to have to come up here, Doctor.
Ma'am, come up and if you would, and speak and give your name and address and speak into the, please.
First, I would like to say good evening. My name is Angela Mangum. I live at 5500 Hollister Drive in Taylor Lakes. And based on the explanation that was just given, it's very clear to me that we're going to go back to the original plan of the 80-foot lots. If anyone else is here from Taylor Lakes that needs more clarification, they can come forward and ask those questions.
All right. Is there anybody that has another question? Come up and give your name and address, please, ma'am.
My name is Linda Joyner. My address is 5536 Stapleton Drive. And I want to know, are there any plans for two-story homes? And my reason for asking is, when you come into my neighborhood, there's a little bitty house sitting between these two grand houses, and it actually looks like a shed sitting there. The two houses on the outside, you can look down upon the roof of this house. And I understand it's a 1850 square foot house, but the house could have been made comparable to the size, the height of the other two houses to make it look nice in the neighborhood. So I want to know, are there any plans for any?
There's not anybody that's going to know that. Elizabeth, do you know? Do you?
Mr. Chairman, we do not know that. Cedric Campbell with Goodwill Mills and Kaywood, the covenants and restrictions for the development do not stipulate single, one-story or two-story, so I cannot answer that.
Okay. Ma'am, I'm sorry, there's not, there's no way for us to answer that. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Just to make it clear, we're going to take a motion on this, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood what had already occurred. So a motion's in order.
So moved.
Second. All right, Mr. Tate and Mr. Moore, all those in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item is presented by Larry Speaks and Associates on behalf of Premier Cajun Kings, LLC. It's a public hearing for development plan for a new building on the south side of East-South Boulevard, approximately 600 feet west of Woodley Road in a B4 district.
Hi, I'm Paul McClendon with Larry Speaks and Associates, and on behalf of Premier Cajun Kings, we are presenting a development plan for
Excuse me one second. Can y'all walk out so that we can? Could y'all please walk on out because we can't hear. Thank you.
We are, on behalf of Premier Cajun Kings, we're presenting a development plan for a 2,531 square foot fast food restaurant to be located in an out parcel at the existing Capitol Plaza Shopping Center on the Southern Boulevard. There will be it's a Popeyes Cajun Kitchen restaurant. There will be 28 parking spaces and 3 access points to the adjacent parking for the shopping center. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
I had one. Is there any requirement or is there any detention required on this?
Detention?
I'm sorry, detention.
No, sir. Because right now it's 100% impervious area. We'll actually be cutting out portions of the asphalt to put in landscaped areas per the city's requirements.
Okay.
So we will actually be reducing runoff.
And it's going to be a Popeyes, is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, any other questions on the planning commission? Anyone wish to speak for or against it? Okay, this is a development plan and there's no vote to be taken on it, so the public hearing has been held.
Next item by Larry Speaks and Associates on behalf of Capitol Plaza Associates LLC and Premier Cajun Kings LLC, requesting final approval of Capital Wholesale Distributors, Inc., plat number 1B, south side of East-South Boulevard, approximately 600 feet west of Woodley Road in a B4 district.
Again, Paul McClendon with Larry Speaks and Associates, and we are seeking plat approval on behalf of Capitol Plaza Associates and Premier Cajun Kings. This is the same lot as we previously discussed. It's basically an out parcel for the existing shopping center. It's a 200 foot by 150 foot parcel that's being broken out for the development.
Just a quick question. I'm assuming all the leases have been reviewed and there's no restrictions about visibility to the bypass?
As far as
well, sometimes the anchor tenants will have a view shed easement restriction in the leases.
Not that I'm aware of. As far as I know, there's no issues.
I guess they could be here to protest it if they wanted, but
good question.
That would be an issue that the landlord would have to work on if they never research their leases.
Right.
I think there's a flea market there that probably doesn't have that in there. Maybe the grocery store.
And they very, very well may welcome the traffic coming to the development.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against this? If not, a motion's in
Hold
order.
on, buddy, you got somebody.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Wendy Smith. I'm the president of the Ellsmead Association. We're in the back of the flea market, back of the, we oppose for it. We would love to see something new in the neighborhood. So we oppose for it. We like to have it there.
You for it?
For it. For it. We for it.
Oh, you're
For it. We for it.
Oh, okay.
We just found out tonight about it. We didn't know anything. Other residents got notes because they live in the back, the house in the back of it.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
I'm in the back over there, so we for it. So I'm sorry.
So you're in support of it?
Yes,
is
we
what
in
you
support
said.
for
Okay.
it.
You love that chicken from Popeyes, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, because, see something new, our Bojangles gone, so we have a Popeyes.
Yeah, that's true. It did get
Yes.
off that corner, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thought I had that cut off. I'm sorry, guys. That's a robo. Okay. Yeah, might be the prison guard looking for. Okay. If not, the motion's in order.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Moore and Mr. Tate, all those in favor? Thank you,
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
The next item by Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Providence Partners LLC, requesting approval of a revised master plan for property along Fane Park Drive and Fane Park Loop in a PUD district.
All right, now, we're gonna have to vote on this because it's revised to the master plan?
That's correct.
Okay.
Good evening. I'm Kenneth White Jr. with Flowers of White. I'm representing Providence Partners LLC. This is a PUD that was approved a while back, and we're simply making one change to it. The 50-foot lots as shown on this PUD map, we will request a side yard changed to 0 and 5-foot side yards with 5 foot between structures. So that's the only change we're asking.
And what was the original distance on the side lot?
I believe it was 0 and 10.
0, 10.
0.5 versus 0.10.
I'm sorry, excuse me, I think it was 5 and 5, 10 foot between structures. So,
Okay.
Sorry about that.
All right, is there any comments or questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against this? Okay, if not, a motion's in order.
Is this a
This is
development plan or?
Yeah,
what?
but this is a revised to the master plan, so we vote on that. Okay, motion's in order. Is there a motion?
So moved.
All right, so Mr. Tate, is there a second?
Second.
Clay, second. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, Kenneth.
Flowers and White Engineering on behalf of Hampstead LLC request final approval of Hampstead Plat Number 18E on the southwest corner of Longacre and Travis Dock Street, say T40 and T4R districts, Smart Code districts.
Again, this is a replat of an existing lot at Hampstead. We're simply adding some space at the end of, on the southern end of the lot to accommodate some additional length on the lot.
To accommodate what?
Some additional length. The platted
Right.
lot is right here, and we're just adding that piece right there.
What are they doing with it? What, it's a odd.
Big old house.
A bigger house than what could fit on there?
Big old house.
Is this Josh's? Okay. Emily's. Okay. All right. Any questions, any comments? Anyone wish to speak for or against this? If not, a motion's in order.
I have one question, Mr. Chairman. What is going to occur with the easement?
They're still in place. They're of record, and they're going to still be in place. There's going to be I believe, a detached garage that separates, and the easement will go in between the garage and the house.
I see. Okay.
Is that still considered park area behind it, directly behind it?
No, that's unplatted land.
Unplatted
Yeah,
land.
it's originally, I believe we have a plat of record now that's originally some platted lots.
Yeah.
We haven't developed it yet, but that additional rectangle was a part of a platted lot, a planned lot that we haven't platted yet.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other comments? Motion's in order.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Ken.
Pilgrim Engineering on behalf of Troy University requesting final approval of Troy University School of Nursing Plat Number 1, northwest corner of Montgomery Street and Moulton Street in a T5 Smart Code District.
I'm Pilgrim with Pilgrim Engineering. We're proposing this replat. They're working on the hotel next door. Some of these lots go back to the original plat of East Alabama, and we're just trying to get our ducks in a row for who's on what lot. It's, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff there, and with the redoing of the hotel, we had some conflicts, more or less, and we're just trying to clean it up.
Okay. Any questions, comments from the Planning Commission?
Pep, what's the, when you're cleaning up lots, you typically don't have a little flag like this hanging off the side. What's the story behind that?
Well, the story behind it is all of those buildings are interconnected, and all of their utilities were interconnected, and we're trying to have one utility serving one platted lot. And so that the tax records will go, there'll be, Troy owns this whole corner, which they do. They own all of that. But all of those buildings there, well, at the corner, it was torn down and there's a parking lot, but all of those buildings at one time were interconnected, and they've been divided up by legal description, but never by plat.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Anyone wish to speak for or against? All right, motion's in order.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Okay, thank you.
Pilgrim Engineering on behalf of Steve Alexander and HF Development LLC request to rezone 2 lots on the northeast side of Wraith Arlington Road, some 194 feet south of Wisdom Wood Road, from O1 to B2Q.
If you'll see the 2 lots over time, everything across the street, around the corner, and down the street of these 2 lots have been zoned to this B2Q with these qualifications. Part of it, and the owners of the lots in trying to sell them are running into some difficulty in competing with the other people that are all around them. With the B2 gives them a lot more flexibility what they can do, and plus the possibility of 2 lots, you could probably you could put those together and get a bigger parcel, but they both have to be rezoned. But the idea is to let these 2 lots be on equal footing with everybody else around to give them a little more flexibility in the sale.
Okay. Has there been any communication with the neighborhood and all out there?
No, not that I know of. I know some of those folks have called and talked to Tanya or whatever at planning, but pretty much I hadn't met with anybody.
Okay, okay. All right, any questions? Any comments? Anyone wish to speak for or against this? Okay. If not, that's the original cues on this is all the requirements of the nose
Yeah.
And that's what's in all the other, that's what I was mentioning when I was talking about all
I
the
knew what
queuing.
you were talking about.
I just wondered who came up with this and how'd you get all these folks to agree to all that? So that's pretty good.
Well, somewhere over time, that's been worked out with the group.
Yeah. Okay. Any other comments, questions? All those, motions in order?
So moved.
Mr. Tate, is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. That's all the agenda items. Next meeting will be on April 26th at 5 o'clock on a Thursday. If nothing else,